But yeah, it was funny because I was looking through Facebook, right? And again, unfortunately, like I try to scroll fast because it's become one of those social media platforms where tragedy be listed on there, and so I just don't want to deal with that. But I ran across one of my friends. She had a picture of a book she was reading, and the title of the book was Drunk. So I was like, okay, I like to drink. Like, let me see what this is about. So I messaged her and I said, hey, I was like, what are you reading? She said, oh, it's really interesting. But she said the book entails how alcohol basically carried the social environment into the civilization that it is today. You know what I'm saying? Like alcohol played a role in majority of the errors that we went through, and it was always there. It was present. You know what I'm saying? So when I looked it up on the internet, one of the questions had was, does booze make the human? So I was like, that's interesting if you think about it, because everywhere you go out, in any setting, whether it's somebody's house, you go out to dinner, you even brunch, you know what I'm saying? Or if you go on vacation, the first thing that people are doing besides just greeting, saying what's up, having a conversation, is what would you like to drink? You know what I'm saying? And 95% of the time, the people that you're with are not going to say water. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, what do you have? What do you have to drink? Either beer, either liquor, mixed drink, whatever the case would be. So I was like, it's funny because I've known people that have gone sober and their circle of friends sort of went away just because the alcohol wasn't there no more. You know what I'm saying? And then I have those that can have fun without having to drink, whereas there are others who can't. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they're more themselves when they have alcohol within themselves, So, and then it's like you have those that I feel like, for myself, a social drinker. If I'll have a drink, depending who I'm with, whether it's a beer or a liquor or whatever the case. But I always try to make sure, like, Monday through Friday or whatnot, I'm not doing that because I'm trying to go to the gym and everything else or whatnot. And the deployment sort of saved me, too, because 6 months in a dry base, you basically, that was rehab for us. You didn't have nothing to deal with. So do you think that's right? Like, do you think booze makes the human? Like, do you feel like in order for us to act around each other, do you feel like alcohol has to be present?
I would say no, because if you say yes, then you would have to say, does it also destroy people? Does it also destroy you? If you're going to say if it creates it, does it also destroy society as well? Because if it creates it, then what's the end of it? So, I think for me, no, because like I said before, I've had a drinking problem. So I really chill. I really like control the shit out of my drinking to the point where it's like, I haven't had a drink in I don't know how long, and I really don't care. But I have drank, and then I start looking in the fridge, and every time I see that beer, I'm like, fuck, it's Tuesday, and I cannot wait till weekend just to have a sip of it. And so that's going too far. The demons are coming out real too. You know what I mean? Like, so it depends for me, right? I think it just depends on everyone else. If you can go out, have a drink. I mean, you and I, like when we were deployed, we drank like crazy, to the point it'd be like 7. Then that's how you started, that day was just buy a drink, and it'd be like, Jesus Christ, dude's 40 years old and he's drinking already. Like, it was pretty bad, man. It just, like every time I would see you at the bar, first thing, like at 7 in the morning, I'd just be like, this is the only thing that's going to wake up in the morning is just alcohol. Like, it was so sad because it was just like, it just reminded me like a lonely movie. It's like, he has no girl, he has no wife, he has no kids, but he has the bar. And I just instantly felt sorry for you for the rest of your life.
I was never there.
You were there early, though. That would be the spot. I'd be like, Jesus, like, we're waking up, getting dressed, we're going down to the bar, and we're having a mojito, or something like that. And
that's the brunch.
That was,
that's the brunch right there.
Like, I think about it like those times, like, if it's those times, we had a blast, right? And it was cool. Now it only just says like, were we just doing that only for that? If it continued on beyond that whole social, like, I don't know. All I know is that I have an issue with drinking, and I do not like to go out places. I prefer being home with my family. I'm chill, man. I'm a homebody. If I'm outside, so like, did I tell you I went out somewhere and then I was like, I think I cut somebody out as I was leaving because I've been there too long with people. So like I was at an event and it was like nothing. That's the sad part. I was at an event and there's just a lot of people. I do not feel comfortable with people around me, man. I just don't like it. It just annoys me. I'm just unhappy being around a lot of people because I just don't give a fuck. So I was like, you know what? I was like, fuck this. I'm going home. I've been around people too much. And so I'm leaving and there's this guy up there. And I don't know if I said this out loud. I honestly don't know. But I looked at him and I was like, what the fuck you looking at? And I just kept walking, which is very bad. That's very bad for me because that meant I was very aggressive to that person. Again, I don't know if I said it out loud, but even if I just said on the inside, I'm pretty sure my face wasn't like smiling at the guy and be like, how are you doing today? Right? Like, how's the weather out there? Are we having a great time here? So that's dangerous because people are fucking crazy. That dude could whoop my ass. He could be like, no clue, stab me, shoot me. Somebody else could smack the shit out of me for that. Like, I don't know. It can cause some problems. But that was my mood. I was so exhausted with being out there with people. I was so ready to fight anybody that I saw somebody. He looked at me and I was like, what the fuck you looking at? And I was ready to like hurt this guy. And it's like, right, for what? No reason. It's ridiculous. So, you know, I think it just depends. But like, I don't have to have any beer at all when I'm with my family. We're watching a movie. Like, I'm good. I can drink some, you know, tapatico, which is like just like, you know, like what is it? Carbonated water with some lemon, and I'm having a great time with my kids. So, you know, I just think it just depends on you, right? Like, what about you? Are you always like, because you seem like we had that rough day where your computer went to shit because it's again 10 years old and you still refuse to get anything new.
Yes, and I did have to go have a drink.
But why would you have to go get a drink when it's an easy problem to solve? Just go get a new laptop. That's what we've been saying for like months.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't know. You know, that's why I'm asking the question because it's like I don't know if because you see it in the movies. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the response. Like, oh, she broke up with me. Let me fucking open the bourbon and pour me a glass. And oh, we just been shot at. Let me go open a glass and fucking have a drink. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's evolved to where it's decreasing sort of because 18, poof, the clubs, beers, liquor, shots. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't matter. And those were the nights, 7, 8 in the morning, sleep for 45 minutes, get up, do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like as I started getting older, like it was more like, okay, we can't really do that anymore because your body, one, is not going to function the same anymore. So now I do more of savor the taste. You know what I'm saying? Whereas people are like, let me make a drink and fucking gulp this down because I just want to get to the drunk stage already. You know what I'm saying? Not me. I'm just like, chill. Let me have a glass here and there. I'll watch a movie. And it's funny because any house that you go to, or if you even have people over, let's say if I came over, me and Nori came over, we'll chill, we'll talk, and what's the first thing the host will always say? You want a drink? You want something to drink? And of course, it's going to be like, what do you have? You know what I'm saying? Do you got rum? Because I don't want water. We're not going to want juice. We're not going to want that topic.
I'm gonna say I got water. We got bottled water. We got some energy drinks in here. And then we have some carbonated water with some lemon.
Well, the energy drinks is good because we'll make a liquor store, right?
Well, you know what, like,
but you know what I'm saying? Like that's like second nature, though. You know, like if I come over for barbecue, automatic is like we need alcohol. I've never been to a barbecue where it was just agua, where it was just water. Never. You know what I'm saying? Or just soda, because they know that there's people that are gonna come and they're gonna need the alcohol. Again, it brings it back. Like, is alcohol in that book? From what I was just reading, the synopsis of it, alcohol has been through all the generations. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been, especially from the Roaring '20s where they had the whole alcohol where they were against the law and everything else. They had that whole era of dealing with that. But it has come to where it's second nature now. Like even now, hey, let's do brunch. Okay, I show up for brunch. What's on the menu for brunch? Hey, we're gonna have mimosas.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Mimosas here. If we go to Vegas, now that you don't drink no more, but if I would have met you up in Vegas when you were there, alcohol would have been every day. We would have been partying, clubbing, gambling, doing whatever. And look at Vegas. What do they do when you're playing the tables?
Yeah.
Here's a drink. Not water. unless you tell them
Yeah.
water. But here's a drink, here's a drink, here's a drink. It's like alcohol has become one of those where it's like, I don't want to say it's mandatory to have, but you sort of like, if you want to be a good host, you need alcohol
Well, you know
in
what?
the crib.
I think the way it looks
know?
on a lot of things is our society has gone. It's not booze. I think it's just anything that's not good for you. Fuck, man. If it's candy, that's just bad for you, right? If it's like,
Bad.
let's get everything that we can to be almost what's bad for you, and we're gonna present that stuff. Like for me, if you'll be like, hey, what's a good host? So like, hey man, I got some magnesium, I got some elderberry. You want some vitamin C? Like, we got some good stuff, man. Hey man, I have friends and they'll be like, hey, you're not feeling so good. Like, hey man, you want some elderberry? I got some for you. Like, cause I mean, that's really like how we are in this household. But you know, it's a lot of that stuff is a lot of society is like, we don't ever really think about things of like people's health or long term. We always go for the really quick satisfaction, which alcohol is. But, you know, like if you're allergic to alcohol, if I give you alcohol, you're going to have an allergic reaction, which there are a lot of people, predominantly Asians, that have that issue, but still they have an issue.
Right.
And so it's crazy how society has sit there and said, not just alcohol, smoking is now acceptable in a way, but now it's vaping or whatever. Now that marijuana's back, right? Like now it's more conducive. So I think our society has gone to more of an area where it's like, it's not really alcohol. It's like whatever is bad for you long term, we'll go ahead and make that part of society so it's a normal. So that way you don't feel kind of weird for doing those things. It's acceptable now to go to someone's house and see McDonald's on the countertop or a bag of like that. And it's okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've noticed is like, I've always tried to be the one to where if I go to your house and you offer me something to drink, my first thing would be juice or whatever, and I'll wait for you to tell me, well, I do have drinks. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know that person's mindset of how they are with having liquor in the house and everything else. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll take a soda or something until they express it. But there's been times like I'll go to like the liquor store Saturday. They open up at 10 a.m. I go there to grab a bottle because the fight's coming on later. Do I be seeing people coming out of there like with cases of the beer, 2-3 bottles, this, that, and I'm just like, fuck, like where are you going that you're gonna need all of that stuff, or what are you doing to need all of that stuff? You know? And it's like, if I get invited to a birthday party, barbecue, whatever the case would be, it never fails. The alcohol on the menu is always gonna be there.